Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video, and so excited today. Today's video I think is probably our biggest video ever. It's certainly my most expensive unbox video that we've done. So super excited to share this unbox, share this issue with you. Really great experience through the whole buying process, so I can't wait to tell you guys. Really quick, want to invite you to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8. Love to have you on the team here as part of our comic book collection team. And when you press subscribe, the bell will pop up. Hit the bell for all our latest notifications. And add me on Instagram and Twitter too. I'm really active on those platforms. All the links will be in the description below. So, okay. So excited to show you this comic book. This is, this comic book kind of has everything. It's, as you can tell by the title, really expensive, $1,980. It has an iconic first appearance. It has an iconic artist and cover. It's kind of a CGC census star as well. So, you know what, I kind of pre-unboxed it because I got the package in yesterday and I pretty much couldn't wait, so I really wanted to see it yesterday, but still kind of sharing. I hadn't looked at it too much, but yeah, it's such a great looking example. So yeah, I'll take it out of the package here. So the newest addition to my collection is, yes, another Amazing Spider-Man number 300. Origin, first appearance of Venom. Classic Todd McFarlane cover. A lot of good things going for this specific CGC 9.8 too. Getting in the CGC 9.8 grade, there's not too many out there. We'll look on the census. And you know what, we could just do that right now. I'll let you know how many. There's 991 CGC 9.8s on the CGC census, which is, getting up there for being such an iconic book and an origin and a first appearance. I believe there's, I think it was over 16,000 of these that have been graded, and only 991 of them are CGC 9.8s. And, that we could get right into the CGC 9.8 ratio, which is at 6%, which is super low for a late 80s book. And that's why this book is so expensive. Obviously the title, $1,980 is what I ended up paying for this, but big reason for that is that 6% CGC 9.8 ratio. The only other book that's sort of similar to this with, being so popular with the first appearance and everything is the book right after this, Amazing Spider-Man 301. That's got about a 6% CGC 9.8 ratio as well. But, no iconic first appearance in 301. That book generally sells for about $1,250 in the CGC 9.8. So really low CGC ratio, no real iconic first appearance or anything. It's just that ratio really pushes the price of these books up because it's basically a measure of the relative rareness of the book. So it doesn't get much lower than 6%. That's why 301 and 300 are so expensive. But I think if you're going to get 301 or 300, because I had seen a 301, a really, really nice one on an auction that I was really considering bidding on, but kind of decided at that time that I wanted another Amazing Spider-Man 300 because I do have one of these in an old case. So now I have a really nice copy in a new case. And, discuss the price really quick. $1,980. That's a fair price for this book. I think because this is such a pristine copy with a nice background, and we'll go through some of the slight differences. But because this is such a nice copy, that's pretty much a fair price. The day before, one had sold, very similar looking one to this, maybe not as nice, just because this is so pristine. We will get into the differences. Maybe not as nice as this one, but one sold for $2,000 the day before. And then, this one had kind of popped up, $1,980, and I just decided to grab it. So, yeah, that's kind of the going price, $2,000 for this book. They're selling quite often for that, $2,000, origin and first appearance of Venom, last black costumes. Amazing Spider-Man 300, ASM 300 has been homaged a gazillion times, which I just think sets it up so well for the long term. It's just, one of those, even young kids that are into buying modern books see those Amazing Spider-Man 300 homages, and this is the original one, and I think this is always going to be kind of ingrained in comic book culture pretty much forever, I think. So, to get it in the 9.8, because it is such a big CGC census star is what I call it, basically, because there's not really another book like it on the census with, like, in the 80s of the era with an origin and first appearance. So just, a lot of things to like about Amazing Spider-Man 300. I'd totally recommend to buy this book. Now I have two. Me, I like them in the blue label without the signatures, just like an unspoiled copy as if it was kind of the first day it came out. That's kind of like what I'd like to recreate, I think, with buying these CGC 9.8 books. So let's kind of talk slight differences in this issue, because this issue has got a lot going for it, I think. And one of the main things is the background is really, if you notice, really, really deep red. Whereas you see this issue even in the CGC 9.8 with kind of an orange background rather than a red background. And that just kind of points to the faded ink and basically a manufacturing defect in most cases. I mean, I'd assume some people are leaving these out in the sun or the light, but for the most part, I think in a CGC 9.8, most of those are going to be manufacturing defects where the color just wasn't as bright in the ink on that day when that specific comic book was being printed. Whereas this one, the ink's awesome. It's one of the best ones I've ever seen, to be honest, and it's really linear throughout. A lot of times you'll have like an orange side with the red on this side kind of fading in and out, but this is just a really deep red all the way through. So yeah, was really excited about that. Second thing is some of the pages sticking out the side, which this book does not really have any pages sticking out the side. It really, like, right from the cover, just shows really amazing. Yeah, so basically perfectly centered, deep colors. And the third thing this book has, which I think it has, certainly having my other CGC 9.8, I can see the difference is this book has the whitest pages, crisp white pages. Really, really nice. Compared to my other CGC 9.8, they're getting a little bit off-white. It's still graded white pages, and I still think it would be graded white pages because, just knowing more about CGC 9.8 books and having quite a few of them, there is, white pages doesn't mean all the pages are just super white. It just, some white pages are somewhat off-white. Certainly compared to other issues. Like, I know my Amazing Spider-Man 361, which was purchased from someone who said they bought it on the first day and stored it away in an air-conditioned house and never touched it. That has the whitest pages I've ever seen of a comic book. And I have another CGC 9.8 First Carnage, and the pages aren't as white as that one. So there is a range. These white pages are amazing. Just really crisp. Let me just take a look at it, because I did unbox it yesterday, but yeah, it really is just no real Newton rings on the encapsulation either. Yeah, just kind of lucked out with this one too. Kind of let you know my experience with the buyer too. This buyer had maybe 300 feedback on eBay, so not a well-known buyer. The pictures weren't the best either, and I messaged him, and he was quite, getting back to me saying it was a really nice copy and this and that. And I could tell from the pictures, even though they were kind of in a dark room and probably snapped from a smartphone, I could tell that it was really centered, and I could also tell that I thought the color was really popping, even though it was like hard to tell that. I could tell like the background was the deep red rather than the orange. So yeah, you know what? I just decided to kind of gamble a bit, and I always recommend to buy from reputable sellers with a lot of feedback that post a lot of CGC 9.8 books. But if you message the person and they're really enthusiastic and seem like they're on your side and seem like they care about like the buying experience and all that, then I think you can have some gambles and jump on some opportunities, and that's kind of what I did here. I was looking for one. I did a video of my want list, and this was kind of at the top of my want list. So I was certainly kind of ready to buy and looking for one, and really wanted to make sure that the background was red and it was nicely centered, because I already have one with the background's pretty much nice. It's really nicely centered, great background. I would say the pages aren't as white as this. That's the biggest difference of the other one that I have in the old case. yeah, these pages, it's just an extremely flat issue, and the pages are just super white, supple. They look amazing. So yeah, I think you know, I pretty much just lucked out on this you know, purchase, and you know, 991 in the CGC 9.8s. But you know, that kind of seems like a lot in some sense. But when you look at that CGC 9.8 ratio and see that I believe there's over 15,000 of these graded, and you know, only 6% of them are 9.8s. That's so low. It's just even my first appearance of Hobgoblin, which is an Amazing Spider-Man book about what is it, about 5 or 6 years before this book. That's about an 8% CGC 9.8 ratio. So even a Amazing Spider-Man book kind of 6 years older still doesn't have the relative rareness of this book. And yeah, I think it just goes back to, like, it was really popular at first and people were trading them, and you know, they're well collected and well circulated. So yeah, there's just not a lot of them in good shape compared to how many of them there are, because there are, you know, quite a lot of them out there. So in the CGC 9.8, this is a CGC Census star, I would say. It's kind of, you know, it's got an iconic first appearance. I totally recommend this as an investment grade book. It's got a, you know, iconic first appearance. It's got an iconic artist. It's got an iconic cover. And in the CGC 9.8, it's got kind of those cold hard facts that the CGC 9.8 ratio is so low and it's super rare relatively. So that's kind of the icing on the cake for me. You know, on top of this issue just being super iconic and homaged a million times in modern books, which I think is really positive for the long term. Yep, so happy to share this unbox with you guys though, and yeah, just super happy with this experience with this book too, because as I said, it was a bit of a gamble getting from the seller that didn't have a lot of feedback. I'd never bought from them before, and yeah, in those situations I always recommend to message them, kind of get a feel definitely for how much they're on your team and how much they care and stuff like that. And got pretty good vibes from this guy, and yeah, just pristine, perfectly centered, perfect colors, Amazing Spider-Man 300. Yes, like honestly, I feel like as far as like pretty expensive books, because I got that Amazing Spider-Man 252 newsstand in the CGC 9.8, and then I got this, and even a couple weeks before that I got a newsstand 361 Amazing First Carnage. So I think I'm probably going to slow down a little bit on spending, and you know, I do have like 1 or 2 more books coming in to unbox, and still got a lot of ideas for videos. So yeah, I think that'll be it for this video. Invite you to join the team and subscribe here to Team CGC, and you know, when you hit subscribe, click the bell for all our notifications. Trying to do about 4 or 5 videos a week. But yeah, I think today I'm just going to revel in having a perfect Amazing Spider-Man 300, and you know, now I have 2 because the other one, yeah, and it's great that, you know, maybe I'll do a slight differences video on some of the differences, because they are both really pristine copies, but this one has those supple white pages, which yeah, I'm just so happy with how kind of pristine, and I think it's definitely in the higher quartile of CGC 9.8 Amazing Spider-Man 300s. Just because of all those slight differences that we kind of talked about. But yeah, thank you very much for watching today. Yeah, really happy I could share this unboxing of this awesome book. This is like the book I always wanted when I was a kid, so now I have 2 of them, the CGC 9.8, and yeah, I'm just over the moon and super happy I could share it with you guys. That'll be all for this video though, and thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.